Hello and good afternoon to you. So, I am delighted to be outside on a warmer day of spring, and it is, in fact, flowers blooming kind of a day, short sleeve shirt kind of a day. Yes. Looking forward to warmer and warmer weather and sunnier skies. Much needed. So, I thought today we might do a little combination of just a little chat and then a practice. And the practice today is intended just to be, if you wish, where you could find yourself a nice comfortable space where it's maybe a little quieter, and you could just allow yourself to be for a few moments as I guide you through a brief meditation on mindfulness of thoughts. Mindfulness of thoughts, easier said than done, because it's just happening all the time. And the intention here is really twofold. Number one is bringing our awareness to the content of our thoughts. The second is how we relate to our thoughts and the stories that they tell. And making then the effort through practice and awareness to disentangle ourselves from the stories and see the thoughts and the thinking patterns for what they are. They're simply experiences, they're impermanent, and they shift and they move. They are not us. They do not define us, we are not them, just as we've talked about with emotions, right? So we experience emotions, and if we skillfully bring awareness to them, we can allow them to move through us without us getting so entangled in them and stuck. So today, let's maybe just take a moment to find our seat, finding a posture that is relaxed but alert. And I invite you to choose whether you would like to go ahead and close your eyes or perhaps just shift your eye gaze down in the attempt to just soften your senses and bring your awareness a little bit more into the sense of hearing. Sit and know that you are sitting. A quiet breath. We just take the attention inwards to sensations of body and just noticing. So as we approach the conversation today about awareness of thoughts, as we quiet down, it's usually the first thing that we'll notice is that there's this incessant chatter going on between our ears. Ongoing commentary, opinions, judgments. Just notice. And there's nothing wrong. The intention of a meditative practice is not necessarily to stop thinking or to necessarily come into a place of complete quiet. It's about developing a different relationship with, an awareness of, and then a skillful ability to be with and let go of the thoughts as just experiences moving through and by. So just notice as you get quiet, is there a particular thought that's on your mind? Or perhaps it's a habit of thinking. Whether that be, I'm bored, I wish you would get to the point, judging, making lists. Where does your mind go when your body gets quiet and you invite a sense of stillness? It's interesting that we each have, during different seasons of our lives, different patterns of thinking or particular familiar thoughts that keep coming up as we're working our way through them. And again, nothing wrong. It's just our minds doing what they do as humans, which is to make sense of. And so we create story to make sense. But as we notice them, maybe we can notice, those are the top 10 tunes. What are the most common thoughts or ways of thinking that show up for you? And just noticing. If you want to take a little bit of a playful attitude towards what our minds do, see if you can count how many thoughts show up now. You'll lose count. And again, it's the nature of the mind. Just as any other organ and process in the human body, the heart beats and circulates blood. Different organs have their processes, and the mind thinks. Beast decided he wanted to join us. So again, it's totally okay. No judgment, just noticing and increasing awareness of. One of the intentions of meditation is simply to gain understanding of ourselves. It's not about doing anything right or perfectly well. It's how do we navigate the things that we naturally do as humans with a little more awareness and maybe a little bit more of an intention to do things in a healthier way for ourselves. When it comes to thoughts, maybe notice if certain thoughts or ways of thinking evoke more stress or a sense of anxiety versus thoughts that invite a sense of ease or of clarity. So just again noticing how those thoughts relate to then the sensations that you feel in your body and what emotions might be stirred up. This is how we develop a stronger mind-body connection, is by paying attention to those thoughts, the content of those thoughts, and where do they take us? What are the sensations and emotions that arise? I love the saying, what the mind frequently thinks upon becomes the habit of the mind. This is literal, that when you continually think in a certain way or invite certain thoughts to stay, you are fortifying certain neuronal connections and networks. You are deepening the grooves of habit that form in our brains. But hooray, that you can choose. You can choose to make new connections. It takes practice and patience. It certainly does, like anything else. But like going to the gym and fortifying the muscles using weights and gravity, we can strengthen our awareness and our skill with our thoughts by using them as the objects of our focus. That will strengthen and fortify and provides us then a spaciousness and perhaps even a sense of calm and maybe, just maybe, a little more quiet, a little less chatter. Consider your thoughts perhaps like a river running by you. And with each time that you practice, noticing that flow of thoughts running by, You're fortifying your kayak so that you are better able to go out into the river of thoughts, emotions, bodily sensations with a craft that is increasingly navigated with skill by you as you get to know the nature of the water and you know where those eddies are that you might get stuck. You use the wisdom of what you have learned to navigate around or to use your paddles to get out of the eddy and back into the flow. Flow of the natural processes of your body, the flow of life, ever forwards. So again, thinking is okay. We're not trying to seek a place of complete stillness and quiet, but maybe a little more spaciousness and awareness. Yeah. So with that, try this on at different times of the day, particularly if you find yourself getting swept away in a particular current. Can you find a quiet place to just settle down, take some deep breaths, and notice what it is that's showing up, what thoughts, what emotions are arising, what are the physical sensations that are with it, and can you change the channel? Can you navigate into a different stream? You can. It just takes practice and awareness. So with that, Beast and I wish you a very happy Sunday, a happy spring, and a little bit more awareness of our thinking so that we can feel a little bit more of that mind-body connection that serves us. I wish you well, and I'll see you next Sunday.